Over the last several weeks, we've taken a really good hard look at the Pelican Mist 100 XP. We did an overview of how it came out of the box. We've done an extensive set of modifications, and we've put her through the paces on both calm water and swifter water. So what are my final impressions? Let's find out. So the Mist 100 XP is an REI exclusive, although another version of it does exist in the Sentinel 100 XP. Not to be confused with the XR or the X. At REI, the price of the kayak is $450, but if you get an REI lifetime membership for $30, they'll give you a $30 gift card right back. So lifetime membership is essentially free. Once you have that membership, you get 10% off of all of your purchases over the course of a year. And in March of every year, they give you either a store credit or a check for everything that you spent over the prior year. So at a base price of $450, with that 10% dividend, you're paying $405 for this kayak. As we know, it is a 10-foot kayak with a 31-inch beam. It has a 300-pound maximum capacity and comes in at only 47 pounds. It has the ErgoCast XP seat and actually comes with a Pelican Poseidon paddle. So let's go over the good. First on the list of pros is comfort. The ErgoCast XP seat is probably the most comfortable seat I have ever sat in a kayak under 800 bucks. I've been in this kayak for 8 hours or more and never even really fidgeted. The seat also gives you a really good elevated position, so you can actually see into the water a little bit more. Those few inches make a huge difference. The second pro that I want to talk about is how the tip of the kayak rises a little bit. As you go through riffles, water splashes off the sides as opposed to coming up and over top the nose. It's a little bit of a departure from previous designs and has proven to be a great improvement. At 10 feet and 47 pounds, this kayak is amazingly agile. You can practically park the thing on a dime. Another thing is that for a 10-foot kayak, things are laid out very, very well. Even with my EXO pack from my Pelican Castaway, there is a lot of room behind the seat here. And the layout just doesn't make you feel cramped. Even if you're 6 foot, 6'2", 6'4", I don't think you're gonna feel cramped in this kayak. But the biggest pro is the hull design to the Mist 100 XP and the Sentinel 100 XP. It's very, very easy to paddle upstream, and in calmer moving water, the kayak seems to find the fall line of the water and just parks itself there. You don't have to do nearly as many paddle corrections as you would in previous Pelican models. As I said in the original overview, it looks and feels like the hull was designed in the spirit of Crescent kayaks. Super maneuverable, super fast, and it stays put in situations when you're in mellow current. With its light weight, it is easy to hoist up onto the roof of even a fairly tall vehicle. Now it's time to talk about the few negatives that I've found with this kayak. So the first and one of the biggest cons is the hardware for the seat clips. Those leak. So immediately upon getting this kayak, you're going to want to pull those out, glob a bunch of silicone in there, and re-drive the screws. Of course, do that by hand so you don't strip away any material. The issue is, even without the modifications, water will end up inside the kayak and you'll have to drain it from time to time. Which leads me to a second thing. The drain plug was originally this size. I bored that out like crazy, added a new drain plug to it, and that makes getting the water out a heck of a lot quicker, because it absolutely will happen in heavy downpours if you don't seal up those mounts. So one of the complaints out of the gate, and it's relatively minor, see the standing water there? This kayak is pretty much level. And as you get in and out of the kayak and as water splashes in there, there is going to be a little bit of standing water. It's not a big deal. You're in the water. You're kind of expecting to get a little bit wet anyway. One of the other things that I brought up, while the sturdy handles are nice on this kayak, these paddle parks are pretty much useless. Where they are when you're sitting in the kayak, it's almost impossible to get them clipped in with a single hand. So we made that modification and that problem is solved. Another thing is the seat straps themselves to adjust the angle of the backrest. They don't really stay put. As you move around a little bit on the kayak, they tend to loosen up, so you're going to be adjusting them over the course of a day, but it's really not that big of a deal. The last con, and perhaps the biggest for a lot of people, is this kayak can feel a bit tippy. And a novice kayak fisherman might overreact, shift the weight a little bit, and actually flip it. So my first suggestion would be to take this kayak out empty a few times, get the feel of it, and even test it. But what kind of feels like a disadvantage there is actually a little bit of an advantage. I refer you to this clip. Again, it is a little tippy, but it's still stable. I've tried. I've put my shoulder over the beam and I'm still not going over. I don't want to test it because I've got a ton of expensive camera gear in here, but... And before we get into this, I remind you that there are a lot of modifications on this kayak. So if you want to see how it comes out of the box, be sure to check episode 1 of this series. With that said, final impressions. I absolutely love this kayak, and it is going to be my river go-to kayak. It's super lightweight, isn't as susceptible to swamping as previous models, feels spacious even though it's 10 feet, lightweight at 47 pounds, extremely comfortable with the Ergo Coast seat, and handles absolutely beautifully on rivers. And if you get that REI membership with a final cost of $405 for this guy, it really can't be beat. If you like what you've seen here, do me a favor, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. This series has been an awful lot of fun to make, and I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one. Cut.